So the first article which we have undertaken, we have an important data. What is the data? Basically it talks about the TFR. TFR matlab the total fertility rate. Now the total fertility rate of, there are many states mentioned here. So whichever state PCS you are writing, if you back your data about population issues, then you will have this, definitely you should back your statements with the data, authentic data. So we have the data by the, there is a report which was compiled by the Registrar General and Census Commissioner India, and which said that the 6.3% of females were married before the age of 18. So suppose you get a question regarding child marriages in India, regarding female education, है ना, तो you can mention this statement कि 6.3% of females were married before the age of 18. ठीक है. If you are writing for state PCS, any state, Bihar, Jharkhand, Himachal, any, you will back this data with the total fertility rate of the specific state. So here for Bihar I have written that the highest TFR is that of Bihar, which is 2.8%. Fine. Moving on to the next, we had a very remarkable example which we will put in NGO questions. Now when we come, this I have taken क्योंकि ये जो group है basically it's a self-help group. It's an NGO, it's a civil society associations. So civil society organizations are an important topic of GS2. So whenever you get an exam, सबसे पहले you have to analyze that कहाँ आप इसको use करेंगे. So whenever you have you are writing an essay, that you can mention this example over there, that how the change by one single person, the one single lady who is Safina Hussain, who is the founder and board member of the Foundation to Educate Girls, right? How she undertook this step to change the scenario for girl child education. We will mention this there. Whenever in GS2 you will get this question that how non-profit organizations are important to bring changes in society. NGO is an important part of your GS2 syllabus, right? So wahan par you will mention this, that recently the Educate Girls, a non-profit association, has got this Raman Magsaysay award due to its efforts towards girl child education. Fine. Moving on to the next, again for GS2 we have a data. We all know that the most I would say disease with which the judiciary is suffering today is nothing but the pendency of cases. बहुत सारे cases है. So whenever you get a question related to judiciary, you will mention that 88,400, okay, this has the pendency, or this is the pendency of cases. कितने cases pending है in the court? Around 88,400. Fine. And which is currently functioning, even though it is functioning with its fully sanctioned judicial strength of 34 judges. So what is the judicial strength as of now? 34, including the Chief Justice of India, and it is full. It's not that any we have a vacant seat, right? So even when the judiciary has full strength in its court right now, we have 88,400 pending cases in the Supreme Court. Now you can imagine कि Supreme Court में इतने cases pending हैं, तो कितने केसेस आपके डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में होंगे, कितने केसेस पेंडिंग आपके हाई कोर्ट में होंगे, राइट? सो वी हैव अ डिलेड जस्टिस सिस्टम एंड विच इज़ प्लेगिंग द इंटायर जुडिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ द कंट्री. फाइन. सो आई डू नॉट had any more important data in this. इसमें केवल एक चीज़ याद रखिए, that whenever you write an answer related to judiciary or any even in essay you can mention this. ये data याद करना ज़रूरी है. The actual data is 88,417, but you can just write that approximately 88,400 data is cases are pending today. Next is your इन्वायरमेंट के लिए एक टॉपिक है GS3 का, प्लास्टिक पॉल्यूशन. तो प्लास्टिक पॉल्यूशन में देयर वाज एन आर्टिकल And this year, World Environment Day, the theme was ending plastic pollution and encouraging worldwide awareness and action against it. Now, how serious issue is this? How? See, OECD's Global Plastic Outlook reveals that the global plastic consumption has increased significantly due to the growth of emerging economies and markets. यहाँ पे एक डेटा mentioned है which we will remember whenever we write an answer regarding plastic pollution. So plastic production doubled from 2000 to 2019, which reached 460 million tons, while waste generation grew to 353 million tons. Nearly two-thirds of plastic waste has a lifespan. Now this data, only this data you will remember, that it reached 460 million tons while waste generation grew to 353 million tons, right? इसके बाद here also you have few data if you want to remember, but I मतलब when it comes to the solution part, I think it is more important, right? What is more important? Okay, acha, here also you have one data which can be used. Plastics account for 3.4% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Now whenever you get a question regarding greenhouse emission, है ना, greenhouse effect, global warming, climate change, you will write in one point that plastic also how plastics also, instead of vehicular emissions, industrial emissions, we also have a point regarding plastics account for 3.4% of global greenhouse gas emissions, right? Next we come to the remedies. So in the remedies section, the important one, ऐसे तो we all know कि क्या क्या remedies हैं, but UNEP's ambitious goal of reducing plastic waste by 80% within 2 decades, इसका ये you can say it has a goal. We have to reduce plastic waste by 80% within 2 decades, which requires serious action and international cooperation, innovation, better product design, and environment friendly alternatives, as well as efforts to improve waste management and increase cycling. Now, next you have, as plastics, their petrochemical feedstock, limiting their production. What are the chemical additives in plastic going? The petrochemical feedstock. So if we limit their production and we eliminate them, then automatically it will affect on the plastic industry also, right? Next we have, we can impose landfill and incineration tax. If we impose taxes on industries, organizations who landfill and incinerate plastic, we can it's a remedy against plastics. Extended producer responsibility schemes, landfill taxes, deposit refund, pay as you throw. If you dispose plastics, then you have to pay, you have to tax, you will be taxed, right? And then one thing also I realized that people should adopt greener alternatives. We can have jute bags, right? We can have khadi instead of plastics. So that is an important remedy. We will also write in, we will first write the what the government, what international efforts are there for plastic pollution, and at the end of the day, in the last point, we will also mention that we can use as citizens, as citizens of the planet earth, we can also take this step towards greener solutions, right? We can use jute bags, we can use cloth bags, right? Next we have an economy again. Here it was only, I have put here, put this article just to know one single data, that is, we had a data, basically it's about economy amidst global regional, trade blocks have become into, after the US has imposed tariffs on us, then there is China, and then a secret economic cold war is happening. So amidst this, this was an article where I have found few important data. You know that even in prelims they are asking data. So in editorials you will get this data, which you should note. This data can not only be utilized in GS mains papers, but also in your prelims exam, where questions are becoming dynamic, static and current are being they are being amalgamated, and a new set of questions are formed. So this data will be important for that. Now I'll just point out few things here, like India is now the world's fourth largest economy, and it's as the fastest growing one, right? So when it comes to economy questions, right, you will also mention that India is now the world's fourth largest economy. In terms of market exchange, it is the third largest economy. It can overtake Germany, and then it can become the third largest economy in terms of market exchange. Right. Now, the Prime Minister has set a clear ambition, raising India's share toward 20% as reform deepens and new capacity when it comes to growth. The Prime Minister has set a clear ambition of how much India's share of 20%. Now we move towards energy. Basically, it's an economy question which is also linking to the environment, which is also linking to the energy consumption. Now, India today stands as the third largest energy consumer, fourth largest refiner, and fourth largest liquefied natural gas importer in the world. Now, I will also like you to point on the last data which we have, fourth largest liquefied natural gas importer. Whenever you have to write a question regarding green energy, है ना, सोलर एनर्जी की बात हो रही है, if you have any say green hydrogen mission, or if you have any question related to climate change, how is India moving towards climate change tackling, then you will mention this data, that we are the third largest energy consumer, fourth largest liquefied natural gas importer in the world. It's a very important data. And next you have this, one more data we have. India has been the fourth largest exporter of petroleum products for decades. Right, this is also important, that we are the fourth largest petroleum product importer. Did not, we have a Satat scheme, but I did not find it useful because my we I was if we come to data, basically 2 3 data is important here which we can use in our answers. Now next we have an article, a climate health vision with lessons from India. Now this article, why is it unique and why did I pick it up? Because this article basically deals with such schemes which are important in GS2. For example, Poshan, for example, Manarega, for example, you have PM Ujjwala Yojana. These schemes are just a social inclusion schemes, right? But how is it linked to environment? That is the most important step. So whenever in environment you get that how India is tackling environmental problems, how India is tackling climate change, climate smart agriculture, towards the field of climate smart agriculture, what are we doing? So we will not only write paramparagat krishi vikas yojana, we will not only write what the government is doing directly in that sector. This article is actually that how schemes like PM Poshan, schemes like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Manarega and PM Ujjwala, how are they directly helping us to fight climate change? Right. So you can scroll, pause the video and then see what have I highlighted. If we talk about, see, the important keyword here is synergistic policies. Means we are actually linking the environment with with GS2 schemes. Everything is linked. You do not have to segregate 1 2 3 4 GS and then you have to say that okay, I have to use this only in GS2. This article is an example, perfect example of that how we can use one scheme as an example for the other paper. We can use how PM Poshan we have, which is a flagship nutrition scheme, how is we are giving millets to the children, and how millets are important to fight climate change, which is again in GS3 paper. I hope you're getting my point. What am I trying to say? So when it comes to Poshan, which is an example nutrition scheme covering over 11 crore children across nearly 11 lakh schools. It's an accomplishment. Now you can just pause this video and you can see. I just want you to tell you that whenever we have questions regarding climate change, environmental issues, you can mention these as an example. And nothing is important, I think. Yeah, this was the whole article issue for the week. See you in the next week, and never forget to how you can mention them when you write the next means answer. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.